How many of you have participated in a sport before, whether it be pee-wee soccer, flag football with friends and family, or even basketball? Almost everyone has participated in a sport of some kind. Now, what makes sports so much fun? Competition is the key aspect that gravitates so many people to sports, whether it be on a track, turf, or on the court. At all these platforms, the competitors are trying to climb the mountain to finish on top with the trophy at hand. The hunger to be victorious leads individuals to our next topic, competitive edge. Competitive edge is what every athlete and competitor is trying to gain every day. This can be done through positive ways, through nutrition or training, or negative ways like using performance-enhancing drugs. Every athlete wants and expects an equal playing field. This has led sports conferences all levels to start testing their athletes. This is detecting drug abuse in sport. Athletes all over the world are tested at random for these substances, no matter the level of competition. Whether it be high school, college, or professional, all of these athletes could be tested. Not only a wide variety of levels are tested, but also a wide variety of sports. The table to the left is presented in the U.S. National Library of Medicine National Institute of Health Research article. The researchers present the wide array of sports involved in the issue. Some of these more shocking examples they highlight in their research in the table are tennis, badminton, judo, and bowling. Any sport has the capability to have its competitors use enhancing substances, not just the main ones that come to mind. The same researchers in the U.S. National Library of Medicine, National Institutes of Health, took the same group of athletes in the previous slide and had them fill in an anonymous survey. The results, as seen to the left, show that athletes are using these substances to spike their performance. This is why it is key to test athletes to ensure a level playing field for all. According to Emily Garnata, who has her doctorate in clinical psychology, around 3% of high school students and college students are using anabolic steroids. Another 82% of college students have consumed alcohol illegally. 28% have used cannabis, or more likely known as marijuana, and 3% of college students have used stimulants. These substances are banned by the conferences the athletes are taking part in. If caught, this would lead to major consequences. Not only college and high school students are using these substances. Even at the pro level, athletes are getting caught. The list to the left shows some of the many notable names of athletes who have been caught using these substances. To highlight a few, Tiger Woods, arguably one of the greatest golfers of all time, was caught with THC and Xanax in his system. Lamar Odom, a famous NBA basketball player, was caught with cocaine plus a mixture of other drugs. Lastly, Lance Armstrong, who was caught using performance-enhancing drugs such as EPO, testosterone, cortisone, and human growth hormone is another example. Now, how is the drug detected in the human body? According to Dr. J.P. Vipinen and Dr. A.N. M. Sutu, researchers have broken the drug into two types: restorative drugs and addictive drugs. Restorative drugs are used to aid the body in the recovery process and aid growth, while addictive drugs are dangerous and highly addictive, which are used to stimulate athletes beyond their regular capabilities. The carbon isotope radiomass spectrometry equation is listed on the screen. This equation is used to determine if athletes are using performance-enhancing drugs by studying the carbon-12 and carbon-13 isotopes in the athlete's body to a typical carbon-12 and 13 isotope. One of the substances leagues test for is human growth hormone. Growth hormone stimulates the growth and reproduction of cells, which will aid an athlete in getting stronger faster and provide them the ability to not fatigue as fast. Growth hormone may sound like an alluring investment, but is banned by leagues and will lead to serious consequences if caught. There are two ways researchers test to see if someone is using growth hormone, according to Richard Holt. The first method researchers use is studying the pituitary GH isoforms in the body. pituitary GH isoforms in the body. This was first pioneered by Christian Steinberg, Martin Bledemanger, and Zaida Wu in Germany. The second method was developed by GH2000 and GH2004 teams. The second method is where researchers check the measurement of GH sensitive markers in the body. This is why it is key we test our athletes, to ensure a level playing field for all that will mark its champion in the right way. With the rapid growth in technology, testing is only going to get more accurate and be done more frequently. That is why it is important to just never get started. But if you do, there will be serious consequences. This could be a suspension to being banned from the sport altogether. No athlete wants to spend time away from the pitch, so do your part and don't risk your eligibility. Sports are here to entertain and unite people. So go out and play, but be safe and make smart choices. These are my references and resources consulted. Thank you.